Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about some products that I have in my collection, mostly makeup, but also some skin and hair care, and talking about, okay, if I were to lose these things, would I repurchase them? I did a similar video back in December focusing only on products I'd received in PR and sharing whether I would buy them with my own money if I were to lose them. This time, most of these things I actually did buy with my own money. Some of them are PR. It's not so much focused on that as it is on how valuable do I feel these things are to my collection. Are they so valuable that I would feel the urge to repurchase them right away? Or are they kind of things that I feel so-so about? I could kind of take them or leave them, but I have them and I'm using them just because I have them. Another question that I'm kind of keeping in the back of my mind, I've heard Mae Beauty mention using this as a way of like analyzing her collection, and I thought it was really smart. So the question is, if I had the option of getting my money back for this product, or just getting the value of the product back, or keeping the product, which would I choose? And I think that's really interesting as well. So we're going to kind of think about that too. So let's go ahead and hop on in. Let's start with some makeup, shall we? So first I have a primer. Primer is one of those types of products that most of the time I feel like they're kind of gimmicky. Most of them don't really do a whole lot for me. This is one that I feel like doesn't do a whole lot for me. This is the NYX Angel Veil. This was an expensive primer too. I think I even paid full price for this. It was just one of those things that I randomly decided to pick up. I think this is like $16 or $17, and I just don't feel like this does much for me. I don't hate it. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm like, am I seeing things? Maybe it's kind of smoothing out my skin underneath my makeup. Maybe it's making my makeup last longer. I can't really tell. I don't dislike it enough to get rid of it. Like, I will use it up and just get my money's worth out of it. I feel like it could be one of those things that like once I eventually put this in my project pan and use it a lot, I might actually fall in love with it. You know, sometimes that happens when you think a product is useless or not doing much for you and then you realize, wait, this is actually amazing. That could happen. And I know some people, this is like their holy grail primer. So I'm kind of like waiting for my mind to be changed about this. But for now, if I had the choice between getting my $16 back or keeping this, I would choose the $16 for sure. Now, a NYX product is actually a NYX primer, but an eye primer that I would 100% purchase if I lost it. This is the NYX Glitter Primer. This I only recently realized how amazing it is. And it's funny because if you had asked me a few months ago if I would rather get my $5 back or keep this, I would say, give me the $5. Like, I hardly ever used this back then. I thought, okay, for the longest time, I thought this is just for those rare occasions when you're using a glitter eyeshadow and you don't want the glitter to fall onto your cheeks. That's all I thought this was for, and I don't really wear, like, glitter on my eyes that often. Maybe, like, the Stila glitters, but I used those up a while ago. So I was just kind of keeping this for, you know, maybe one day I'm like doing a super glittery look for Halloween and I need this. This is actually so useful, not just for glitter, but for any shimmer eyeshadow, whether it's a shimmer shadow that you feel like is kind of lackluster on its own, or you just want your eyeshadow to look extremely foiled. This will be your best friend. I'm wearing it today. I've been wearing it most days underneath shimmer eyeshadows, and it makes them pop. It makes them look so beautiful. You only need the tiniest bit. I'm sure I will never run out of this. If you have this sitting in your drawer and you never use it, you gotta pull it out and give it a try because it is a game changer. All right, here's a foundation that honestly, if I were to lose this, I would kind of be like, okay, that's fine. This is the Covergirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. This is a foundation that sometimes I really like it, and I like it enough to keep it and use it. I'll eventually use it up. I really like, it's a great shade match for me. I have the shade Fair. It's a light coverage foundation, but I don't love it. I do feel like sometimes it looks really bad, but as long as my skin is well prepped and I make sure to like shake it really, really well, because sometimes the texture of this can be a little weird, it's good most of the time. I'd say like every like 1 in 5 times I'm like, what's happening? But 4 in 5 times I'm like, yeah, that looks nice. So it's good. Not my favorite foundation. I know a lot of people have had terrible experiences with this. There's like little gritty pieces in there sometimes, but I find that when I shake it like extremely hard, it works. It like, I don't get a ton of that grittiness. So not bad, not my favorite. I just feel kind of neutrally about it. This is sort of an indie brand. They are sold at Sephora, so they are a little more well-known. This is Aether Beauty. I have completely fallen in love with this brand. One of the products from them that I would absolutely buy if I lost it, this was sent to me in PR, but this is their Ametrine quad. This is the quad of my dreams. It actually looks similar to the e.l.f. Rosewater quad, but it's completely different. I know that the vibe is similar, but the matte in here is a lot darker and mauvier. The pink shimmer is a lot more like rose gold. I would say this is almost like a more saturated, bronzy version of the Rosewater quad. I will show you swatches side by side, but I love this quad. This is so perfect for every day. That rose gold shade is like my perfect lid color. I love that kind of shade on my lid. It makes me so happy. I also love the deeper bronze on my lid for something a little bit deeper and smokier. This is just such a great, simple, everyday quad. If you love mauve eyeshadows, you will love this. And I think that the quality of these is outstanding. I had some kind of quality concerns with their larger palette, especially with like their duochrome shades. Those are a little bit sheer, almost meant to be more like topper shades. They work great over a glitter primer. None of these need to be used with a glitter primer. These are great on their own. If you were kind of like on the fence about their larger quads for that reason, I would highly recommend this quad. I know they also have another quad that I haven't tried. It's more like golden, I think. All right, I do have some skin and hair care that I wanted to talk about. A skincare product that I absolutely adore. This is the Acure Resurfacing Overnight Glycolic Treatment. Love this. If I lost this, I would buy it again. I would definitely pick this over getting my money back because this is such a nice overnight treatment. It feels like a moisturizer. You could almost use this on its own as like an overnight sleeping mask and not even put any moisturizer on top because it's that hydrating on its own. But I do like to layer another moisturizer on top just because I like all the hydration I can get. But this is a leave-on AHA treatment, and I swear, I just wake up with my skin looking so glowy and hydrated and healthy looking. It kind of just smooths out my skin. It's just a product that works, and I would definitely need to go out and buy this again if I lost it. I actually do have one from Derma E that I need to use up once I'm done with this, but I think this is the one I would get just because it just feels so like hydrating on my skin. I just love the feel of it. And it's definitely more of a drugstore price. I think it's like $15 to $20, which is pretty good for a product that you like actually see results with. Okay, a skincare product I would not buy if I lost. This was a PR product. This is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. Packaging, 11 out of 10. This is so cute. I love having this on my bathroom counter. I just think it's so pretty, and because of that, I do have fun using it because I mean, just look how cute it is. They totally nail their packaging every time, but I wouldn't buy this with my own money. I feel like it's just a niacinamide serum. If you want a good niacinamide serum, get the like $6 one from The Ordinary. Does a great job. This is supposed to be like a dewy makeup primer. You're also supposed to be able to use it over makeup. I would not recommend it over makeup. It'll lift up your makeup. It's not a good situation. I am actually wearing this today underneath my makeup as like my serum. I used this, then a moisturizer, then my SPF. I mean, I guess my skin looks kind of glowy. I also have a glowy setting spray on top. I don't feel like this gives my skin a ton of glow like underneath makeup like a glowy primer would. It just feels like a gel serum. It also has a lot of fragrance to it. I do try to avoid fragrance, so that's another kind of strike against it. But I think it's pretty. I just think if you're wanting to incorporate niacinamide, you don't need to spend the extra money on this one because it doesn't really deliver on those like, it almost claims to be like both a makeup and a skincare product in one. And I don't really think it does that much as far as makeup goes. Okay, here's a hair product. I've been on a little bit of a hair care kick lately. These are the Eva NYC Lazy Jane Air Dry Shampoo and Conditioner, not dry shampoo and conditioner. These are actual like regular shampoos and conditioner. When I first saw the name, I was like, wait, is this a dry shampoo? Because it has the word dry before shampoo. But no, these are meant to be used on days when you are letting your hair air dry. So that's what that means. These I received in PR through Octoly, and I'm really enjoying these. They actually repackaged these to be in aluminum bottles, which I think is cool. Also, Eva NYC has a recycling program with TerraCycle, so I'm kind of, once I use up a bunch of my Eva NYC products, I will be sending those off to there. It's nice to know that I can do that because I think that the can would be recyclable where I live, but the pump is not. Kind of annoys me that it says 100% recyclable on here, because people may throw the pump into their, like, you know, curbside recycling, and generally those kinds of pumps are not recyclable because they do have like multiple types of plastic in them. Anyway, just a side note there. I feel like that's a little misleading. Anyway, about the product though, and why I like these, I would definitely buy this again. Even though I did get these in PR, I would buy these with my own money because these are fantastic if you have kind of fine flat hair. My hair tends to be quite flat. I can use all the volume I can get. And these, they say, it sounded kind of gimmicky at first because it says, this unique texturizing formula starts styling in the shower by giving grip to roots to add body and thickness. And at first I was like, that doesn't really make sense. I mean, how could it start styling your hair in the shower? But I feel like it really does give my hair just a little bit of grit. It's not like it's adding like any kind of product to my roots or buildup or anything like that. It's actually a very clarifying shampoo, which I like because I do have kind of oily hair. I'm prone to build up very quickly. So it feels like it really does clarify my hair at the roots, give me lots of volume. My hair feels just more texturized once I've used this. And same with the conditioner. This is not like a super moisturizing conditioner. It's nothing like, you know, a hair mask or anything. It's a very lightweight conditioner, which is nice sometimes, especially if you have fine hair. Sometimes you need something that's like really not going to weigh your hair down, and I like these for that purpose. Now, these are not, I would not use these every single day. Sometimes I do like to use something a little bit more nourishing, but for like, I think every other wash, these are fantastic. And I am also lazy with my hair, so the fact that they're for like lazy people is definitely right up my alley. A lot of days I don't like to style my hair at all, and these are specifically meant for those days. Obviously you can heat style your hair afterwards, but if you just want to let your hair air dry and kind of do its own thing, maybe add a little mousse to it or something. And I do feel like my hair looks better when I let it air dry after using this than after using other shampoos. So that is something that I would purchase if I lost it. All right, last two products are palettes, and the first one is actually the one I'm wearing on my eyes right now. This is the Shared Planet Polar Bear palette. I love this palette. Every time I use it, I'm like, dang, I need to use this more often. Especially today. Today I mostly have the shade Avalanche all over my lid, and then I have a mix of Cub and Chili, the beige and the gray in my crease. That's pretty much it. This Avalanche shade is like a duochrome. It looks like just, oh, that's just like your standard aqua blue, but it actually has this almost purple base to it that like kind of peeks out of nowhere sometimes, and it's just a fun dimensional shade. And the shimmer to it, it's almost like a scattered shimmer. It's not just like a straight up metallic. It just has this really pretty effect. And I am wearing that over my NYX Glitter Primer to bring it out even more, but even without the glitter primer, it's beautiful. So I know I'm talking only about that shade, but the rest of the palette is great too. I love that it has this frosty like blue duochrome there. All of the shimmers are great. I do find the shimmers are best applied with a finger. It's just a unique palette. This is the palette that got me into cool tones, and if I lost it, I would absolutely repurchase it. They also have a beautiful looking palette called the Tiger's Eye palette, I believe. That one is more of a warm toned palette, and that one looks so pretty too. I kind of want it. I don't need another neutral palette, but kind of on my wish list in the back of my mind. But yeah, great palette. One that I would not repurchase if I lost it, I've talked about this a few times here and there, the Modern Renaissance palette from ABH. So I'm a big ABH palette fan, I really am. Over the last couple of years, I haven't really been as interested in their palette releases. I just feel like they had a really good thing going on a few years ago, and then they went through some things as a brand, and they've kind of fallen off for a lot of people, I think, including me. But the palettes that I do have from them, I still really love. I think they're some of the best palettes out there. They are well loved for a reason. This is Modern Renaissance. This is the first one that I bought from them. A true icon. I mean, really, like, everybody recognizes this palette. A lot of people own this palette. This was a lot of people's first, like, warm-toned neutral palette. And I still love it. I came close to decluttering it in my last eyeshadow declutter video, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I'm sure, you know, eventually this will expire and I'll have to declutter it. I can't let go of it yet. It's too special. But I will say, if I lost this, or if I had the option to get my $42 back, I think I would take the $42, you know? I I really do enjoy it. I've actually done some really pretty looks with this recently that made me glad that I didn't get rid of it yet. But now that this has been around for a while and so many more palettes have come out since this one released, the color story just doesn't feel quite as special as it did back when this first came out. It doesn't inspire me as much as it used to, but I can still get some really pretty looks out of it, and the quality is there for sure. I mean, the mattes are so blendable. It's a great palette. I'm not denying that, but I think I'd rather take that $42 and get something different if I had the option. So this was fun. I enjoyed filming this video. I think it's always fun to take a look at what you own and ask these questions like, would I buy this again if I lost it? Am I glad that I bought this in the first place? Do I feel like maybe that was a waste of money and I could have put that money towards something even more valuable? It's always an interesting question, and it's also a good way to make sure that you are making smart purchasing choices in the future. So if you guys enjoyed this video, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up, but that is all for today, and I hope to see you again very soon in my next video.